Had a good heart, would do just about anything for anyone. Was people in Hope are going to realize just how much he did starting this winter when some of their driveways don't get plowed, because he would plow people out just because they needed it, and never asked for anything in return.
Well, he was one of the kindest men that I have met. I think this winter, when the snowplows don't come in Hope for several days, people are going to remember how much Willie did for this community, whether they knew it or not, because he would plow our roads on his own time. He would make sure the driveways were open. Every time he went by with a loader, he'd open our driveway. I'd hear the sander, and he'd be sanding the ice. He just always was thinking of other people. And then when my dog would escape, pretty soon I'd see Willie driving down the road very slowly, holding a dog bone out of the window, and my dog and several others would be in tow. He was like the Pied Piper of dogs.
Well, as far as myself, and I know my wife is concerned, he is and had been since we've been here in his presence, one of the most giving people we've ever met. He would do just about anything for anybody. And he was a fixture here, almost to the point of, in my opinion, almost being kind of iconic.
One of the things that I loved about Willie is that when we needed to redo our foundation on our cabin, Scott went to him and asked if he knew of anything that we could use. He says, "Oh yeah, I've got a couple of old bridge I-beams." And so he brings them over, dumps them off. And we said, "Well, how much, Willie?" He wouldn't take anything for him. He says, "We'll just let you store them, and if I need them, I know where they are." That's the kind of heart Willie had.
Aside from the fact that Willie was an absolute one-of-a-kind, he was a giving person. He gave to everyone in this community. He was always doing things for other people. Sometimes it would be things that they hardly even realized he was doing.
He was a very strong man, tough really, but he was reliable. He was there. If there were any problems in Hope, he'd be working on them. You know, he quietly, very quietly. He never had never said much. It didn't have to. His very presence was reassuring.
Well, one of the hardest working guys I've ever met. He's always doing something and always doing something for someone else. You know, he just go out of his way just to do little things, and it mounts up. And people Hope are going to miss him big time.
You know, always had a big hello passing him in the car. You know, he even got ready. You seen Willie's car coming, and even got your hand ready to give back another good hi. You know, it's like, okay, here's Willie. I gotta get ready here. You know, all right, yeah, because he always had a good yeah. You know.
I'm part of the PTA, and he never missed a fundraiser. He was always just putting a little bit of extra money in our teacher's pocket for any kid that needed a little bit of extra. Anytime he heard about a need, he was always there to fill it. If it was driving kids to job fairs, he was always available for our kids. Really looked gruff and tough, and but he was the biggest, softest teddy bear, kindest person you could ever meet. He always had a cookie for your dog. He always, you know, my daughter, he found out that he loved cakes. So she started making him cakes about 6 months ago. And as soon as he would finish the cake, he'd bring her a new cake mix and frosting and just drop it off at the front door. And so she'd make another one and take it over to him. And in fact, when he passed away, we had a cake in the fridge.
My own feelings about him, I had such a great time the last 2 weeks with him. Spent a lot of time with him. Helped him move Pam May's cat house. And it's just amazing how well we worked together doing that. I mean, not a lot of wasted motions. He knew what to do, told me what to do, and you know, that was a good. That's probably going to be one of my better memories of him, because I actually spent several days working with him one-on-one.
He helped me the last 2 years since my dad died. He called me almost every day. He came by and told stories. I made some signs for him, and he'd come by and critique the signs, have lunch, bring his friends for lunch or dinner, bring his son, Clayton, just like my baby, that guy too. And he's, Willie, he came by or talked to me on the phone almost every day for the past 5-6 years.
Willie, and any special story you have about him?
I remember the very day I met him. We had moved up here in '94 to reunite with my husband's family, and the first week I moved here, I got to work for Tito's Discovery Cafe, and Willie was my very first customer. He was my very first breakfast I ever made at Tito's Discovery Cafe, and he was consistent every morning at soft scrambled eggs, corned beef hash, sourdough toast, and a gallon of coffee. He was also my first lunch that day with a bowl of chili, cheese, and onions. It was just, he was always a delight, and he was always so kind-hearted. He gave until he couldn't give anymore, with no expectations of recognition or compensation. He's helped us in several moments in our lives that we needed, and wouldn't take any compensation. So I gave him a pie every 2 weeks for about a year. So he will forever be my pie guy.
He was such a good man to Clayton. And because of that, Clayton will be a good man also. And Willie took on a challenge that I think most men wouldn't be able to do. But he did it. He was happy to do it.
You're going to be missed, Willie. Happy travels.
Willie, I'm gonna miss you, man. I'm gonna really miss you.
Willie, thank you for all the years and all the wonderful talks and the laughs, and for what you did for me and for my family and for all of us in Hope. And just rest easy, good man.
Willie, see you on the other side, buddy.
Well, you're gone, Willie, but I know one thing, your mama Velma, she's happy. She's got you with him now, so, it's a good thing, and I know your brother's gonna miss you big time. We all miss you too, brother. Love you. Bye, Willie.
Goodbye, Willie. Thanks.
Oh, Willie, we will miss you so much. And thank you for everything you did for this community.
Goodbye, Willie. Hope is not going to be the same. We'll be okay. And we miss you very, very much.
Willie, gonna miss you. And you were an icon in this community. And people will realize eventually what all you did for us. But, man, thank you. We'll miss you.
For me, he's never going to be gone. He'll always be in my heart.